Moving on to the next one. So Ian, Garry, Carlos Prates. John, how did you have the first off? Let me start off. How did you have the fight scored?
I had it scored 49-46.
49-46. Okay.
Yeah, Machado Garry. Yeah.
Okay.
Look, it all comes down to you can win off of multiple ways on the judges' scorecards. Okay. The easiest way to win is damage, heavy blows, knockdowns. That's what they're looking for. Okay. When you're looking at that, there were some heavy blows that we saw from both, but both hid, the effect. I'm going to tell you at the 4-minute mark of the first round, Prates hit Machado Garry with one of the only shots he hit him with in the first round, but it was a telling blow because it made Machado Garry go, oh shit, he's got power. That hurt. You could see it. You could see it in his actions. You could see it how he changed with what he was doing. And he really started getting on his bike and moving and doing all kinds of things that showed that I'm not going to be a target for you. I'm going to sit here and just continue to frustrate you with movement. And when I have the opportunity, I'm going to land my combination. I'm going to land my kicks. I'm going to get out. I'm going to then try for a takedown, see if I can make that work. If not, I'm going to exit off of it, try to leave you with something. And that's really how he fought the fight. And if you're going to take a look, Ian Machado Garry, for the most part of that fight, all except for the 5th round, fought a beautiful fight as far as being smart. Mm-hmm. He fought a fight that showed that, intelligence-wise, he's very intelligent on understanding where he needs to go, what he needs to do to, be the better fighter throughout the round. Prates did not throw enough. Let's just be honest. First round, he's following. He's just not throwing. He's blocking kicks, but you've got to have some kind of, attack that is making this person have to deal with your offense, because just off of volume, Machado Garry is winning the round. That means that he's throwing more, landing more, and you're not throwing enough to even get close to that. Even if your shots are heavy, they're not doing enough damage for them to overcome the volume of Machado Garry. So overall, I had the fight, I had Prates losing the first 4 rounds. One was close, but the 5th round was obviously his, and that's the one that he was doing what?
Yeah,
being offensive. He's going after him. What are you doing? Why are you not doing that the whole fight?
Yeah.
I'm okay with you feeling out the first round. I'm all about, hey, see what he's like, test things out, look for your tells and all those things. Okay. If you're going to give away the first round, so you give away the first round, but then the second round, you got to start saying, okay, this is what I got to start doing. And he never upped it really until, 4th round, he started to up it. 5th round, definitely upped it, but too late.
Yeah. How close would you have been to giving that 5th round a 10-8 round?
He wasn't able to do enough damage because the dominance, the damage would have had to have been great because he dominated only a small section of the round. Mm-hmm. Okay. The round he was winning, I thought he was winning it basically from the start. There was, the first minute kind of even, and then he starts winning the round, but he's just winning the round, where we call it's marginal. And it's a marginal round as far as, he's up, but it's by a slim margin. Then he starts to take it over. And by the end, he's starting to really dominate. But it wasn't what we call domination with a duration of time. Mm-hmm. It was a short amount of time and Garry looked like he's in trouble, and he did some damage to him, but it wasn't enough to give it the 10-8. I would go, it's one of those, like it's 10-8-5. But so then it's a 10-9. Did you have a 10-8?
No, but I was wondering how close you would have thought it would have been.
That's, the easiest way I can say it is, he was getting there.
Yeah.
But he needed some more. And it could have been just one shot could have made the difference in that possibly getting there, because now he's not only, in that position of he's starting to be dominant. The damage is so dramatic that now you're going to say, okay, I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah. I was leaning towards 10-8, but I was like, he didn't really drop him. He didn't really.
No, that's the whole point.
He didn't drop him. He didn't like. He had him fishing for ankles. It's just a really bad look.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, he was hurt. You could tell he was hurt. At moments from the hammer fist and things like that. But what, like you said, for me, the other thing too was the duration of it was not long enough. I think it was like the last 30 seconds or so.
Yep.
45 seconds. It just wasn't long enough. It's in a 5-round fight. It's got to be longer. But to go back to Ian Garry, though, to me, beautifully done.
The kid can fight.
The kid can fight. He can fight. You know what gives people problems though is it's the speed.
Yeah,
he's faster than
and his movement. He's elusive.
Yeah, the movement is very important, but that also makes it even more difficult when he's as fast as he is.
Yeah,
and you can tell with his kicks, he's got a little pop behind him. So when they land, they actually knock you off balance a little bit. They make you okay. I can't counter really off of this when you land that head kick.
Yeah. You have to block it with both.
Yeah, it throws you off, and so the response is not there. If I do throw, I'm going to be out of position, and he can maybe possibly counter. So there's a lot going on there that people maybe with the not blind eye, but just someone with the untrained eye just won't see. And just seeing the fact, like every time he threw the kick, even when Prates blocked it, it still kind of threw him off balance a little bit, and he wasn't able to counter clean. And you can see why. Even if he did, he's like, I don't want to leave myself out of position. He countered again. Overall, but man, I thought Ian Garry looked good. The movement was there, but also too with Prates, it was if you would have went earlier in just spurts, not even a lot, made him shoot more often, he would have been a lot more tired, like down the stretch, and you would have had more success.
Yeah.
But the lesson that I learned by watching Prates is, man, like, you should probably stop smoking. Like you were so close.
I was really impressed. I got to tell you, because I was like, getting into the third and then fourth round, I was like, okay, is he going to die? Man, for a guy that smokes, he was doing very well.
I mean, John, I'm like, man, if you quit smoking, you'd have a little bit more output. I don't know.
I agree with you.
Just different ways of looking at it, right? Like, I mean, he looked like he had the cardio, but he was exhausted in the fifth, obviously trying to get him out of there. But all he had to do, all he had to do was just a little bit more. Just a tiny, like, I think they put up the stats in terms of how much he landed. It was like 4, 4, and 6, I think, strikes per round.
Yeah.
Like rounds 1 through 4, I think he landed like 6 or 8 strikes in each round. That's not going to win any fight.
Not unless those shots are knocking someone on their ass.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I couldn't figure out what he was doing and why. And only thing I could come up with is I came to the conclusion that the speed was really throwing him off. And I think also too, a lot of people that fight Ian Garry, they look at him like almost like a Colby Covington. They really don't want to lose to him. And with Ian, like with Colby Covington, you don't have to worry about getting knocked out. He had no power, he had no stand up, and you didn't ever worry about that. What you had to worry about though was Ian Garry will knock you the fuck out. And so people just don't like fighters that fight him because he talks so much. They do not want to lose to him, so they fight a little bit more conservative than they would normally fight. That's the only thing I could come up with outside of the speed of Ian Garry, the movement, the lateral movement, all those things. If you're Prates, I mean, you've got to be kicking yourself in the ass. I mean, whether it's because you didn't have the cardio to push a little bit harder and because you smoke, or you just were real gun shy because either the speed was throwing you off or you just gave him too much respect. One of the two, but no matter what you do, he's going to wake up tomorrow morning and go back and watch the fight or, the next day or whatever it is and be like, damn, I could have done this. I could have done that. It's one of those fights you're going to kick yourself in the ass.
Absolutely. It's one of the things, and you got to give it to Ian Garry, is that his movement is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And if you've ever fought someone that moves a lot and you're trying to chase them down, you're trying to cut the ring off or cut the cage off, and it's frustrating because you can never get yourself in that position where you feel like I can land a clean shot. I'm lined up. You always feel a little bit off because as soon as you get close and okay, I'm ready, they're moving. And it's a frustrating feeling. And it's not that I mean, he's had so many fights. I'm sure he's had to face someone that was elusive before, but I think him being that elusive and then the speed of when he is attacking, it did cause him some problems.
Yeah, I would agree. Overall, though, I was expecting more out of the fight itself, but I also took into consideration that, like you said, Ian Garry's a smart fighter. Yeah. He was going to wrestle a little bit. I thought he was going to have more success getting the takedowns. Did not. Prates has a very good takedown defense, especially when he kept going to the singles. I was like, why don't you change to the doubles? He's got you figured out in the single legs. When he did change to the doubles, he had a little bit more success, but even still had a hard time holding them down.
Yeah.
Couldn't get him down. Like, Prates did a really good job of getting back up to his feet. Overall, though, I mean, it was a good fight. It was entertaining, especially the way it ended. So, and most people, like myself too, is I only remember the endings. It's like that was the most exciting part.
Well, it made it exciting. And so that's good.
Like we've talked about this all the time where the whole fight card could be shitty, but if the main event's good, people forget about the rest of the card.
Yeah. It was a great night.
Yeah. It was awesome. Did you guys forget the other 14 fights that sucked? But no, you just, man, what a great fight. That's all.
But it's also in reverse. You could have 14 great fights and the main event is a terrible snoozer. And everyone goes, it sucked. Yeah, everything sucked.
They'll sometimes try to dig one out of there. Like, so-and-so's fight was good, though. That was, at least we got that fight. This episode is brought to you by BetUS. Make sure you guys YouTube 150 for the promo code. Also, Element, use the link in the descriptions down below. Any product you buy from there, they will send you a bonus package of product if you use our link down below. Element's amazing, man. I love it. And I want to say thank you, man. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support us.